What does this industry need to do to become more profitable?
Well, thanks, Guy. Yeah, I think you've summarised it very well. If we look back to that period, 2010 to 2019, actually, we did make a shift then. I thought that was a period during which the industry exercised a lot more discipline around capital investment, real focus on return on capital. So we're still in recovery stage. I think this is probably the last time I'll talk about recovery, because we're effectively back to where we were in 2019. Always challenging with the general macroeconomic environment. The global geopolitical issues are impacting on the industry as well. But actually, we remain cautiously optimistic about 2024. And I think the recovery we've seen in 2023 has been very encouraging and should give the industry reason for optimism next year.
Does this feel like a recessionary environment, Willie? The world's trying to figure out what is happening, what's going on with the global economy. My line is always, if you want to know what's happening with the global economy, you ask an airline boss, because they see everything. They see fuel costs, they see consumer demand, they see freight, they see everything. What do you see?
Yeah, we see reasonable economic growth. Certainly in emerging markets, the growth is quite encouraging, less so if you look at the Eurozone and maybe the US. So the traditional established markets will see lower growth. We're seeing a strong recovery in the Asia-Pacific region. They've still got a way to go to catch up to where they were in 2019. But obviously, inflation has impacted on everybody, more so on the airline industry because of, fuel. It's about 30%, 31% of our cost base against the traditional maybe weighting 6-7%. So fuel has been a real drag in 2023, and it will impact us again in 2024. But, the positives are employment levels remain quite strong, and that's pretty much the same wherever we go in the world. Demand remains quite good, although we've seen some regional impacts at an aggregate level. It's still looking pretty healthy for this year and for next year.